now, I don't
feel that way.
I would rather be really skinny than I would rather be super fat.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Welcome back to the 10th episode of the Infinity podcast. We're here today with co-host Sammy Cerise, I myself, Abhijit Kadawada, and yours truly, Arjun Joshi. Thanks for coming on today, bro. He's definitely drinking not beer, so thanks for keeping it PG. So today, we decided to take it to Reddit and answer some of the questions on unpopular opinions and am I the asshole? This one I feel like I can relate to. It says, am I the asshole for calling my coworker chunky after she repeatedly calls me slim and makes references to my weight after I asked her multiple times not to? What do you think about that?
Yes, you're an asshole.
So you think yes?
I disagree.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
That's fine.
Let's debate.
Let's debate it.
I mean, go for it.
You went first. Yeah, go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. Being slim isn't like a detriment on your life. I mean, for some people, I'm sure it is. But the thing is, if someone calls you slim, you'll just take it as like, I want to gain weight. Like, I'm trying to get bigger. End of story. But calling someone fat is literally like, for fat people, that can be like pretty detrimental to their self-esteem. You know, you don't want to actually hurt someone on that level. It's one of those fundamental burns that you don't do to people. It hurts their core
about to
person.
end this man's career.
All right. So first of all, there's like this whole psychological like thing about being too skinny. It's like being anorexic, right?
Right.
People go through that with an issue.
I was
in their life.
assuming, I didn't think this person had anorexia. I think they were just
Okay.
a normal weight.
Either way.
Okay. Either way, it doesn't
You're not
matter.
anorexic. You're not anorexic.
I used to get called anorexic because I was skinny.
Yeah, 'cause we're being dicks. That's
Right.
not.
No.
You're f***ing anorexic.
But here's the thing, like I get it from like my friends, from like you guys, like obviously you guys don't like actually mean it,
Yeah.
but other people used to genuinely like think and call me anorexic because
You
I was
weren't
so
that skinny. You were.
Yes,
You were
bro.
fit. Well, you ran track, so you know that's. Like,
Yeah, that was
that's-
later on in life. That was when I was close to 18. I'm talking about when I was like from ages 8 to like 15.
Yeah, but you weren't sitting at home being like, "Oh my God, I look disgusting because I ate
No,
a
of
meal
course.
today. Let me go puke it out."
I didn't
I'm
think
eating
that.
now, blah,
Right,
blah,
but like
blah.
here's the thing. Obviously, this person feels self-conscious because they're being upset about
No,
this
they
person
clearly
calling
didn't.
them skinny,
I
right?
think that
So-
person's also an asshole.
Yeah, they repeatedly asked them to stop, and then they still continue to do it. So
I still don't think that's the way to fight it.
Right, I agree, but like I feel like body shaming works both ways. Like if they're gonna body shame
I
you for
agree,
being
but
skinny,
no, because I think you should fight body shaming by make that person feel like this. Just be like, you know what you're doing to me actually hurts me as a person. Literally be straight up. That'll make them feel like shit. Otherwise, you call them fat and they go home thinking you're an asshole and they feel justified for everything bad they say to you. Because they don't even think what they said to you is bad.
Yeah, but I feel like you
That's
can't
what I'm saying in my
be,
career.
you can't be justified for something that you did previously, right? Like I feel like if somebody did something to you and then you do something to them, that's justified. But you can't do
No.
something to them and then have someone do it to you and say, "Oh,
Because
that's
that'll
justified."
never fix
'Cause
anything.
that's different.
But that's the issue, is that'll never fix anything.
Right, but I don't think they're an asshole. I think it's a bad way to go about solving the
No,
problem.
I think that lady's an asshole and this person solved it the wrong way. And they could have went about it the right way.
Yeah.
You could have literally got your goal done, which was make them feel like shit and get back at them and stop them from calling you skinny all the time by just being like, you know what? That hurts my feeling. I'm struggling with my weight. I've always been trying to put on weight.
Yeah, but I feel like they explained that they repeatedly asked them to like stop doing it to them, and they just continue
Right.
to do it.
I'm sure they just said, don't call me that. And I'm not saying that should be enough. That definitely should be enough. I'm not like excusing
Right,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying there's no right way about it by responding the same way.
Right, I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about solving the problem, but I also
But-
don't think it makes
but-
them an
So I'm
asshole.
going to say no one's an asshole. But I would say if you don't like it, don't return it to them.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Here's the thing.
Actually, no, that girl's straight up an asshole first. Yeah, she
Yes,
is.
okay,
She
I was
is
gonna
like-
say that.
She is the asshole. He's an asshole of much lesser degree, because don't return it. You know how much it hurt you.
yeah,
It's probably going to hurt that girl way
yeah,
worse.
that is fair.
But I feel like people tend to take insults towards bigger people a whole lot more seriously than they do towards skinny people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like people, I think people
Yeah,
feel
but that
more.
makes sense because the societal perception of being overweight is so much more negative than being skinny. If you're skinny, then you're just skinny. Like, I might call someone a twig, and like, yeah, you calling someone a maybe, right? You know, you're like, you're a twig, whatever. But if you call someone fat, it's supposed to be like, that's a negative on your life.
I don't know.
Like, you're literally like, it's so much worse to people to be fat and skinny. Like,
I don't
even
feel
I'll
that
say
way.
right now, I don't think
feel
it's.
that way.
I would rather be really skinny than I would rather be super fat.
Like, here's my thing though. Nowadays in society, it's becoming more socially acceptable for people to, say that behavior is okay and like promote unhealthiness.
I would
Yeah.
say, if anything, the fact that this podcast exists explains that it's the opposite. That you guys are saying something else against it. Because nowadays, I'll even agree that it's wrong to make fun of people for being skinny. It is
yeah,
wrong.
obviously it's
I'm
wrong.
not saying it's not wrong, but I can understand why an obese person might take more offense.
I think it's
understand
wrong.
that.
I think it's wrong to just call someone, say like, oh, you're anorexic, like blah blah blah, and like not give them like any help. But if you're like, oh, like it's actually unhealthy and provide them a solution to like solve their issue,
fair.
then that's fair, right? So
Yeah,
I think it's
as
all
I
in how
said
you like
earlier,
approach the situation.
I'm not trying to attack. I literally said they were both wrong for attacking someone. You don't
I
attack
agree.
them, period.
Yeah,
That's it. Like, this kid's too skinny. Like, I'll literally be like, maybe you wouldn't, because I don't think you should go up to someone in the gym. But if you see someone who's like obviously struggling with that, you can lend out a hand.
Yeah.
Or the opposite if they're overweight.
Yeah.
I just I can understand that. I think that as people, we kind of see like, it's worse to be obese than it is to be super skinny. Not anorexia, that's its own individual disorder. I'm not talking about that. I mean just to be skinny.
But I feel like if you're
Versus
gonna
being
make that
obese.
argument, you have to look at both extremes: anorexia and obesity.
Versus like, but the extreme.
Right,
when
'cause
I
the
thought
extreme-
obese, I thought he said chunky, so I thought he meant like you're 20 pounds overweight. Like, you can lose that if you work at it. You'll lose it.
Okay, so that's not that. So then you just said like, oh, if he's only 20 pounds overweight, that's not that big.
But it's
of an
still
insult.
damning. No, I'm still saying being overweight, period, is damning to a person's self-esteem for someone to point it out. That's when
And
really
I'm
questions
saying
them.
it's the same way because I've lived through it.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to tell you
Right.
you're wrong.
Right.
So, yeah, if you felt that way, then,
Right.
I'm not going to take that away from you. You very well are right. Like, I just meant as an individual who isn't, I'm not super skinny or anything, and I'm not super fat, so I don't want to be like, I'm going to be honest, I would rather be skinny than I would rather be obese.
I get that.
So, like, here's my thing about it, right? So if you are a chunky or overweight person, you know how much that insult hurts you, and
Then
like,
why would you make it someone else?
Why would you say that about a skinny person?
I
knowing
suppose that's
that
doubly
could,
bad on someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you knew better, why would you make that comment? It's like a doctor saying something that like get some essential oils out here. Like you'd be like, what are you talking about? You know that doesn't work.
Yeah. So,
Hey, people seem to think so.
Fair, yeah.
The cure to cancer, clearly lavender oil.
You guys
That's
are we telling story times?
All right, yeah.
Alright. I don't know if this is that funny.
Story time with Arjun, new segment.
Our one roommate, okay?
Not to drop any names.
Fell in love with the girl next door. Total alright? So she seemed pretty nice, but she was really dumb. Almost as if her IQ was below a certain point that you would diagnose her with a mental disorder that would put her in that category with other people who have mental disorders. And, she was playing games with this kid. So one time, either way, it doesn't matter. She's like, whatever. She's nice for the most part, but she's a total, like, outside of that. Like, on the innermost level, she was playing games with him.
Okay.
But she would, like, be pretty nice. I don't think she was explicitly a bad person, but, in reality, she was being a
Yeah.
And we were in our car one time, and I'm sitting in the back seat with our other roommate, and I see on the floor this, like, encyclopedia, and it said, a guide to, Eastern medicine. It said a guide to Eastern medicine, like, how to, like, treat, like, diseases. And it was, like, 1,000 pages. I'm like, what are you writing 1,000 pages on fake shit for? Like, can you be an expert if you're an expert at something that's not real? Like, that's a really good question. Can you?
Yeah.
I read a definition that an expert is someone who can convince others that they're knowledgeable about a subject. But it's a fake subject.
Right, but if you convince somebody that
it's real,
right,
then
right.
I guess you're an expert.
You're convincing like people that it's real because they don't have an answer. Like, I swear that those people take advantage of the diseases where there isn't a cure. They straight up go like, yeah, you guys can't fix cancer, so if you rub oils on it, that'll help.
Well, duh.
That's fucked up. And this
It
girl
is.
believed it.
Well, no, yeah,
You know
I
the
agree.
worst part? She was going to grad school to treat animals. I was like, I don't want you treating my dog. You're not going to be a vet. What are you going to do? Like, rub ointment on my dog when he has cancer or some shit? I'm not
a
paying
little
for
bit
that.
of icy hot,
No, yeah, like that's a good point though. If you just have those own beliefs in your own time,
Yeah,
like, that's
man,
fine.
that's
But
not
if
you.
you're going into a field where you're going to be actually having
That's
to
what
help
made it so
people,
much worse. Like,
yeah.
did you just go to college to treat animals? Because I'm pretty sure they tell you day one
That's
what a
so-
f***ing body looks like.
Yeah.
Like, they teach you this basic biology we learned in anatomy in like 9th grade or 10th grade.
Yeah, so she's just gonna disregard like all her actual training and go
Right,
to essential
right.
oils to solve like the
funny.
world's issues.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know,
guess
man.
maybe it works for them because they'll be giving people real treatment and that on top of it, and the real treatment will work. And they're like,
And then it'll be like,
must have been the lavender oil,
Yeah.
not the chemotherapy. Like, yeah.
All right, so this next one is, am I the asshole for being visibly shocked / dumbfounded that my girlfriend, 21 and American, could not point out Florida on a map?
I would say no, because I feel like, okay, first of all, shit, I'm going to get deported for this. I'm not even from here, okay? So I'm not even like technically I'm not born here, so I'm not American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you hear someone knocking on the door? FBI, open up! No, but I mean, I didn't grow up here. I didn't I wasn't born here, but I could easily point out probably every single state.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's common knowledge.
Like, here's my thing, especially because like Florida is such a unique
right
state, and it's like
one of the biggest
destination,
states, right?
So if it was like Rhode Island or like some relevant state like that, I can understand.
We're gonna get so many dislikes from all the Rhode Island people.
I'm from Dakota. Like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Or like one of those like random ones in the middle that all look the same, like in the Midwest out there, or like not the Midwest.
Yeah,
but
the
West. But yeah, I know it should be the Midwest. But yeah.
Yeah.
You ever think that the Midwest? I used to think it was the middle of like the West.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I
not.
thought. Yeah, I know.
It's the Midwest. Wait,
It's the middle of the.
No, I had this earlier. Wait, shit. It's the middle.
It's the west of
West
the middle.
of the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, of the middle. That's what it is. And that's
But why
why I
not call it West Middle or something?
The West Middlesex, you know? It should.
No, but yeah, I think
she's dumb.
you're
I
lacking a lot of intelligence.
Feel like if you're 21 years old and a normal functioning adult that was born in America and raised in America and educated in America, and you can't point out Florida on a map.
Okay, but like we probably can't. I don't know. I have trouble like.
You can't point out Florida?
No. What I was gonna say is like I have trouble differentiating between like, I don't know, like Kansas, like I don't know, like those random states over there. And
Not
so
easy,
what
right?
if,
Right above
No one's
Texas.
from Kansas.
what if she? No, it's not right above Texas. That's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, right above Oklahoma.
So this guy, tough scene right there. But no, maybe she's from one of those states and they just like don't have internet and don't do anything.
Alright, I got a good one.
You gotta go on.
Alright, ready? So the question is, would I be the asshole if I called off my wedding because my fiance, a lady, does not want my son to bring his boyfriend to the wedding? So there's a guy, he's getting married with his fiance who's a woman who has a previous son from when he was younger, and he wants to know if he'd be the asshole for calling off the wedding because the fiance doesn't want his son to bring his boyfriend to the wedding.
No, I don't think he'd be an asshole because if she's against that, like that's pretty messed up, right?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, the fiance would be the asshole in this situation, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, next topic's anime, I guess.
Right.
And anime is pretty much just cartoons from Japan, and it's like super uber popular now in America. It's like a big thing. I think like everyone's heard of it at this point, but it's like even way more people are watching it.
Right.
I remember specifically in high school, I literally made fun of a girl because she liked Tokyo Ghoul, which was an anime. I made fun of her, and I was like, that's,
Bully.
Damn,
yeah, I know, right?
This guy's a bully.
That's so stupid now, because I literally watch lots of anime.
It's crazy.
And a lot of my friends watch anime. I literally even read manga, because it's so popular in American
Mhm.
culture now.
Yeah,
That's
dude, that is crazy though. Is how like it shifted so much. Like back when we were in high school, it used to be like only the nerds kids or
right,
whatever.
right,
So I
right,
want to point out that that's a biased point of view, because I've heard from other kids here that it wasn't like that at other high schools.
Really? Maybe it was
So
just us.
the kids I roomed with were telling me that most kids watched it.
Really?
Most kids were
Where
watching
were these
anime.
kids from?
From Ohio.
I don't know. Maybe
we just grew
their
up in a
situation
rural
was
area.
biased. No, maybe
I
their
mean,
situation was biased. Because
I
I feel
don't know,
like if
because
it was
this is
popular,
most
it'd be
kids.
popular around like
Right, no,
internet
because
and everything.
one thing I did notice though.
Naruto was popular.
Okay, that's one.
I don't think it was popular. I think like a select group of kids would watch it.
Oh, I think actually a lot of kids watched Naruto and they just didn't say anything.
Really? Because I could tell you I've never watched a single episode.
Either way, yeah, no, that's wild that you got that. But no, it's like, okay, we can scooter past that point. That look,
Yeah.
it clearly wasn't
No.
it clearly wasn't that popular. Now it's super popular.
Mhm.
Especially in college when we're in a place where no one's gonna make fun of. If you're making fun of someone for something they like that you don't agree with, like you're a dickhead. Like
Yeah.
no one would
I
say
agree.
that. You just you're just a douche. Like
Yeah.
don't do that. And kids like what they like.
I agree.
That's what it is.
I agree.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the anime thing's big now. Everyone needs to give anime a chance because someone put it to me the best way is that college kind of blows in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
especially when you're in a senior year where like transitioning to real life and stuff does suck. So it's a really nice, just absolute total escape, no effort. So it's not I like you could read fantasy books and that's great, but this is no effort. You're literally just watching something that takes place in a totally fictional universe. Everything's animated, everything's crazy. You don't have to believe anything. There's no rules set. And I mean, the rules that are set are by that universe. They don't have to make any sense. You just enjoy it.
I agree with that as well, because like I feel like there's a lot of people who never gave it a chance and like always thought it was stupid, and then like sometimes like they finally got to the point where like I'm gonna give it a try, and then they ended up really liking
That was
it.
me. That was totally me.
Exactly. All right, Jim. So like for the viewers out there, if they had to just watch one anime, like which one would you suggest watching? Is like
so
the
like
first
hook
one?
you in?
Yeah.
One Punch Man. It's a parody of all other animes.
Oh, it's a parody? I didn't know
It's
that.
total parody of all other animals. The main character is a total loser and he's bald. He's weak as fuck. He's not
Are
actually.
we making fun of bald people now?
Yeah, what's wrong with that, huh?
The point is he literally trained himself too hard. He went bald.
Yeah, not all of us could have luscious locks like you over there.
Thank you.
I don't have a response.
Exactly. You just gotta take.
I'm gonna say yeah. One Punch Man is the one you want to watch, and then people like Attack on Titan.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Infinity Podcast. This was episode 10. Co-host Sammy Cerise, I'm Abhijit Kadawada, and our friend Arjun Joshi. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and you can watch us on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and all our other social medias. All our links will be in the description.
We out.